Well, I think it's fantastic that Richard Ottaway and Mike Gapes, two people who are very experienced in Parliament, one of them a Tory, another a Labour member, have put this motion, which has really, I think, brought the FAC report to the attention of most of the House. It's a very good report that they prepared for Gibraltar. To have it debated on the floor of the House, I think, is particularly important, and to have the Minister respond, I think, is also very important. And the issues that were raised, I think, really embarrassing for Spain to have the House of Commons debating the sort of tactic that she has been getting up to in the past 3 years. There's been an analysis of the way the Partido Popular has behaved in the time it's been in office. Hugely embarrassing, I think, for those who have been responsible for the way in which the politics over Gibraltar has really brought the British government and the Spanish government to two loggerheads.
Well, at the end of the day, the Minister for Europe did not commit to a change of policy, but do you feel that these debates also put the British government under pressure?
Well, I think it's important that you look at what David Lidington has said. He said that the relationship between the United Kingdom and Spain under the Partido Popular has not flourished as a result of the attitude that they've taken to Gibraltar. Those are very important words and a very robust statement from a British government that wants to work with Spain on the myriad issues that they have in common and that we have in common with Spain. So it's important to see that when sometimes Spain says they have an excellent relationship with the UK, despite Gibraltar, the position of the United Kingdom government is quite different. And also that David Lidington in the Parliament today has not ruled out Article 259 action against the Spanish government if things do not improve on the ground.
But in aviation, he gave the impression that this wouldn't be necessary, that there were actually moves behind the scenes.
He did that in relation to aviation matters, but not so much in relation to issues relating to frontier flow, for example. Because I think there was something very clear today in the expression by David Lidington of his own frustration at the failure of Spain to play ball, which is that the United Kingdom plays by the rules, Gibraltar plays by the rules, and we're all very frustrated to see a Spain that doesn't play by the rules and sometimes gets away with it. And I think that's where the interplay of the issue of the Commission acting really came in, that the Commission is the guardian of the treaties and the Commission must act. And I think what the United Kingdom is saying is we want to try and resolve things politically. Otherwise, the first step is that the Commission should step in and try and see the treaties enforced in an appropriate way. Otherwise, we reserve the right as a last resort, and it is a last resort in European law, to take nation versus nation action, direct nation versus nation action under Article 259. But it's fantastic that those things are on the agenda, that we're debating them, that Spain has got to see how embarrassing it is for her to have these issues debated on the floor of the House of Commons, the Parliament of a friendly nation, an EU ally and a NATO partner.
Would you say that the UK is letting the EU do much of its dirty work for it?
I think in particular in relation to this Tory government of the United Kingdom, or coalition government, you can't really say that. They don't really call the Commission in for much. In fact, they're usually at loggerheads with the Commission on some issues. But on Gibraltar, in consultation with the government of Gibraltar, they've involved the Commission. And I think that's been a very good thing. We're seeing the Commission say the right things about frontier flow. The Commission itself is reserving the right to take Spain to the European Court if it doesn't act properly, as we've seen in the letter that was recently published and which Spain didn't want to see the light of day. And in particular in relation to environmental matters and complaints that Spain has made against Gibraltar at an EU level, the Commission has come down in favour of Gibraltar. You could almost say it's 10-0 to Gibraltar at a European level once the Commission becomes objectively involved in looking at issues in a way that is dispassionate and not looking at the particular national interests of one particular nation or another.
Well, Chief Minister calls for the British government to take a more robust line. Is this what we want? Do we want a more robust line, or do we go for the government's line of de-escalation? What does Gibraltar want?
No, I think that in politics, you have to have both. A line that is robust about your red lines and an opportunity to try and find a diplomatic solution to all issues. And what I think the House has been calling for today is a more robust positioning of the UK government. But I think the UK government has actually delivered that in what David Lidington has said, in not ruling out Article 259 action and in expressing his own frustrations about the way that Spain fails to behave maturely, and in particular in saying so explicitly on the floor of the House of Commons, to the huge embarrassment of the Partido Popular government in Spain, that the relationship between the United Kingdom and Spain has not flourished because of Spain's attitude to Gibraltar. That is hugely damaging for Spain, and I think a very robust position for the British government to take.